Welcome back, Nerd Squad. My name is Roya Destroya, and this is Top 10 Nerd. While Quentin Beck as Mysterio isn't Spider-Man's most famous villain, we have some intel that he may be experiencing something of a revival next year. Before we get into that, we need to get acquainted with this technological genius. So let's take a look at the top 10 Mysterio surprising facts. In the number 10 spot, he was supposed to be in a Sinister 6 movie. In December 2013, it was announced that the villainous group Sinister 6, which Mysterio was a founding member of, were gonna get their own 2016 movie. It was gonna be a redemption-type film for the criminals that wouldn't focus on Spider-Man at all, but the Amazing Spider-Man franchise was cut short and a reboot in the form of Homecoming was scheduled instead. So the 6 had to sit this one out. At least the Venom movie that was also promised is going through, and perhaps the Sinister 6 won't be benched for long. Next at number 9, we got multiple Mysterios. Although Quentin has been the most famous Mysterio to date, there have been a few other people to hold the mantle. The next in line was Daniel Burkhart, who was hired by J. Jonah Jameson to pretend to be Mysterio's ghost and torment Spidey. Then came Francis Clum, a teleporting mutant who purchased the outfittings of Quentin Beck during his brief death. And the last was Mysterion, who purchased the Mysterio materials to fight Superior Spider-Man and the Punisher. Maybe with enough money, you could be the next Mysterio. Coming in at number 8, he debuted as an alien. Mysterio made his official debut in The Amazing Spider-Man number 13 back in 1964. However, it was later retconned that we met him much earlier in The Amazing Spider-Man number 2. He and his men were the aliens that Spidey came face to face with. They had disguised themselves as extraterrestrials because they were hired by the Tinkerer to uncover military secrets. Now, I'm no expert here, but if you want to discover military secrets, wouldn't you dress up as one of the military? In the number 7 spot, he's got no real superpowers. No matter how complex the illusions Mysterio creates are, no matter how well prepared he seems to be for taking on foes, it all comes down to technology and special effects, not superpowers. Quentin was an expert VFX artist and just as good with chemistry and engineering. On top of this, he's taken up the neat little hobby of hypnosis, which seems like a superpower but is really just focal points and a strong suggestion. Up at number 6, he just wanted to be an actor. As a special effects master and stuntman, he worked in a film studio, but really Quentin had dreams of making a name for himself as an actor. He, however, did not have the looks or talents for on-camera roles, and he lacked the patience to be a director. He thought special effects was a dead-end job, so of course turned to the much more self-sustaining and lucrative career of crime. It's okay, kids, we can't all be actors, but we can all be criminals. Just kidding, don't repeat this at home, please. Coming in at number 5 is his cruelty. Well, he's a supervillain, so it goes without saying the guy is pretty mean. But when he took it upon himself to drive Daredevil crazy, his cruelty reached new heights. Among his proudest moments were drugging his adversary, portraying a baby as the Antichrist, convincing Daredevil's girlfriend that she had HIV, and then hiring Bullseye to go after Daredevil. Luckily, it ended up failing. Dude, you should've just gone the simple route and took them all out in an alleyway or something, less chances to screw up. Next at number 4 is his suicide. After his plot with Daredevil failed, Mysterio figured he was a screw-up and had nothing to live for, so he shot himself in the head. Now, he's faked his death before with his fancy schmancy effects, but this suicide was for real. For a little while anyway. Remember the brief death I mentioned earlier? Well, Beck didn't stay in hell for long because his superiors in the underworld wanted to restore cosmic balance. Yep, not even hell wanted the guy. Up next at number 3, he has a FACESPACE account, which is exactly what it sounds like. Even supervillains make use of the power of social media. FACESPACE is a social network that is an obvious play on Facebook and MySpace. Some accounted for users include Dr. Doom, Rhino, Boom Boom, and our friend Mysterio here. And one of his top friends is Nua, a mutant responsible for creating a tracking system for mutants in China. Don't you love social media bringing people together from across the world? How wholesome. In the number 2 spot is his retirement. Mysterio is one of the few villains we see go from his origin story to plain old retirement. There of course had to be a death in between, but we can look past that now. Retirement, like death, is tenuous in comics, but here it seems pretty for real. Quentin takes his retirement to Las Vegas, and though his daughter Misty just has to show up and ask him to return as Mysterio, he gives her a pretty firm no. Will the answer ever change? Anything is possible in comics. And finally, in the number 1 spot, he's expected to be in the next Spider-Man Homecoming. The last fact is probably the one you were we're thinking of since our little intro here. Beck will reportedly be one of the main antagonists in the 2019 Spider-Man Homecoming sequel, and even better, he will be played by Jake Gyllenhaal, who you should love. For a Spider-Man who is just learning how to maneuver this new world he's been thrust into, there's nothing like a villain who can make you doubt every shred of reality you've ever just learned about. So those were the top 10 Mysterio facts. Let me know in the comment section down below who you want facts on next. My name is Rory Destroya, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another nerdy list.